Since you weren't able to jump into the Zoom, I have the Zoom still open, so if you jump in, I'll just delete it, but no worries. A couple of things that I wanted to go over really quick. This is going to be a screen recorded video, so you'll see my screen, so you probably won't see me. But here are the things that I would tell you to take a look at. If you go into your dot loop, you should be able to access your HR file. When you access your HR file, there is a document in there that I noticed is not signed. This is the Hearts of Fire policies and procedures. There's a little bit of this that's a little out of date. Okay, there's a lot of this that's a little out of date. But this will walk you through step by step what's expected of someone who takes house leads. The team that we have that does house leads, it's called Hearts of Fire. Our mastermind meetings are on Mondays, as you were there this Monday, and then at the end of the meeting, we hand out lead days. A couple of things that I'll draw your attention to, the step-by-step policies and procedures. These are the things that we follow when I am following up with you or taking a look at your dashboard to see a couple of things that I want to highlight is this 250 dashboard unit. I am honest to a fault about house leads. House leads convert at a 1 to 3% ratio. We strive for a 5% ratio. So we always want to be better than the national average. But if you think of a 250 dashboard limit at a 1 to 3% conversion rate, you're looking at converting 2 to 6 house leads a year once you get to that 250 limit. A couple of things that I tell agents all the time: house leads require consistency and follow-up. That's what makes the difference. So if you are consistent in every week taking a lead day, following up with your leads, those are the things that are really going to make you successful. So making sure that you are following those step-by-step protocols is super important to your success. But if so, you can look at an additional 2 to 6 closings per year. These are the protocols that I mentioned. We talk about a 2-call rule. If you don't get them on the first ring, to hang up and call again. We talk about sending emails and text messages as a way to try to get them to communicate with you. We talk about the way that you set up your dashboard in Sync, and these are some best practices. There's a couple of other ones and new ones in your Google GTR broker file. There's a Sync folder that gives a few other step-by-steps on that you can research. And if you're doing those Sync trainings that I mentioned last week, those will be there as well. The emails, here's an example of an initial email. There are also some drip campaigns that you can set up. We talk about daily prospecting, making sure that you're spending an hour a day on prospecting and an hour a day on follow-up. And then when it talks about general lead pools, some of this we used to have, sometimes we bring in ISAs to call leads, and that's what some of this is talking about, but some of it's talking about the pond, which you are currently and already in. So think about that. The other thing that I want to highlight, you don't have to worry about the reporting or the pipeline report. We don't do much of that. But then one of the things that we'll talk about, we would have done today, is go through your universal call script. Obviously, you're focusing on this buyer follow-up call. I would tell you not to get too bogged down in the what comes next, but to understand that there are essentially about 5 questions involved in your phone call. The other thing that I would tell you is that the main reason that you are on the phone with them is to set a face-to-face appointment. The way the statistics go, something like 90% of people who buy houses start online. Because we use Google pay-per-click leads, we're able to get them at the very early stages of their search. Because of that, the statistic is something like 85% of people will do business with the first agent they meet face-to-face. So our goal in getting these leads is to make a face-to-face appointment. That face-to-face may mean Zoom or digital or something, because we do get a lot of transplants. Charlotte has something like 100 people that move to the area a day. And so we want to make sure that even if they're moving from New York or Alaska or wherever, that we can make a face-to-face appointment with them and make that connection. Obviously, if they're going to visit, we want to make a face-to-face appointment with them when they get here in the office, or if they're here local, we can make an appointment with them in the office to meet. But if they're not local, then we want to definitely make an appointment with them via Zoom or some kind of video conference. The seller side, I do like to mention that the seller side is here. The leads that we buy are buyer leads. So you don't get a whole lot of sellers, but sometimes you will get buy sells. So if you do get the buy sell, you can use the seller side, and I'll cover the seller presentation in just a minute. The only thing that I need in order for you to take a lead day is going to be for you to sign this. And also what we would do is go through this kind of role play, this universal call script. The other thing that I will need from you in order to get you a lead day is to make sure that you have your VIP buyer presentation set up. So this is your GTR broker file. There's a folder inside of that broker file. Definitely was signed in. There's a folder inside the broker file that says VIP buyer presentation. And we talked about that in Monday's meeting. So you should have that set up and ready to go. I just need to see it to make sure that it's ready. There it is. And what I usually do is ask agents to present it to me and watch you go through the slides, so that if there's any questions about what you should talk about or how you get through it, then you move forward from there. And then one of the things that we mentioned so next steps would be, once you've done this VIP home buyer system, obviously, is to try to get them to sign a buyer's agency agreement. And you may choose to do that two different ways. You might have it in print in a folder that you hand them with their working with real estate agent, buyer agency agreement, and those blank documents of professional disclosures and offer to purchase. Or you may do it digitally, and you might do it while you're sitting there at that appointment, or you might say, I'm going to send those documents over to you digitally this evening. Totally up to you how you want to structure the flow of your appointment, and it may have more to do with your timing. So for example, if you are meeting with the client and then you're going to go see a house immediately after, you've got to get that buyer agency and WWREA signed before you go to that showing. If you're not showing houses until they get in town or for a couple of weeks, you could send it to them digitally later. So totally up to you how the flow of that works. A couple of things I'm looking for when I look at your VIP homebuyer system is your About Me slide. And then we're going to talk about how you communicate this NAR stuff. And then we mentioned in Monday's meeting, if you want to take out some of these things like our cancellation guarantee or a VIP loyalty agreement, you're welcome to do that. Totally up to you how you communicate those two pieces that are still there for agents who have used them in the past, but have become a little bit obsolete in especially the loyalty agreement in the new requirement that we have a BA signed before we show houses. So those are the two things that we would cover, and I will look forward to seeing the signature on that house leads protocol and seeing your VIP VIP buyer system presentation. You don't have to send me the whole presentation. If you just want to send me pieces of it, or send me an email that talks about it, or however you want to do that. And then if you want to schedule some time later for us to go through some things, that then we can definitely do that. Sorry I missed you. Hope that you have a good weekend, and I will see you around. Thanks.